We've been briefed by the Pentagon on specific munitions. Actually, it's been pretty detailed on Tomahawks, ATACMS, SM-3s, THAAD rounds, Patriot rounds, so those interceptor rounds to defend ourselves. And the numbers are, I think it's fair to say it's shocking, how deep we have gone into these magazines. The munitions are depleted.
Hegseth says that Senator Kelly was, quote, blabbing about a classified Pentagon briefing. Senator, what's going on here? Why is Secretary Hegseth threatening to investigate you?
Well, I think it comes down to it. He doesn't want to be held accountable. They've expended an enormous amount of munitions. And I think the only investigation we need, the one we need right now, is after 15,000 strikes. All we got out of this. We have 13 dead Americans. We got the Strait of Hormuz closed. Gas prices in Arizona are $4.80 a gallon, seem to be heading up. And we have a Secretary of Defense. Not only is he ill-prepared, unprepared, unqualified for this job, he doesn't want to be held accountable for the actions.
But do you understand, because I don't,
Yeah.
So I'm sincerely asking, what is it exactly that you said that he is alleging was classified?
Well, nothing I said was classified. We had this discussion in an open hearing. When you are going to hit 15,000 targets, you're going to use a lot of munitions. There's things coming off of airplanes. There's missiles that are being shot. You know, they're responding with ICBMs, which we have to take out with, air defense systems.
Yeah.
It's not classified. I mean, 15,000 strikes consume an enormous amount. And by the way, he's asking for $25 to $50 billion to replenish these munitions, where he said it's going to take years. So again, what he's trying to avoid is accountability. This thing is not going the way they expected. They went into this without a strategic goal, without a plan, without a timeline. Now they have no exit strategy, and they're flailing. And when somebody like me starts asking them questions, whether it's I make a point on a show like yours or in an open hearing, they don't want to give specific answers because they probably, at this point, they realize that they've made a number of mistakes.
He, in his post where he said he would open this legal review, into your remarks, he addressed you as captain, in quotation marks. I guess this is a reference to his effort to reduce your military rank, which would lower your pay. He has this case against you. You sued him for violating your First Amendment rights. Where does that case stand?
Well, last week I was at the D.C. Circuit Court, which is the appellate court, because they appealed. I had a preliminary injunction to stop that process. We'll see how that turns out. The bottom line, though, on this, Jake, is this is not about me. This is about 2 million retired service members. And for anybody who listened to that hearing last week, one of the really interesting parts was at the end when Pete Hegseth's lawyer, which is a DOJ lawyer, said that if any service member like myself, who served 20 or 25 years in the military, if they want their First Amendment rights, they should give up their retirement, give up their pension, give up their health care. And then they would be free to speak out. How un-American is that?
I mean, that is a thug lifestyle that Pete Hegseth is living, and that's a thug kind of talk. You give up your pension, or you can just use your First Amendment right. This thug, gangster in Trump's administration is becoming more unhinged.
I mean, people who have given the most for this country are being asked now by this administration, or told, hey, if you don't do this, if you don't shut up, you could lose your pension, you could lose your rank and retirement, and your other option is just give it all up, and then you're free to say what you want. I mean, that's not what it says in the Constitution. There's no precedent for that in any military law.
Is the defense secretary...
Not just in any military law, but also anywhere in the world. I mean, they talk about China. Oh, how bad China is, communist country. How bad Russia is. This happens. Socialist country, that country, this country, North Korea. The generals, they are scared of Kim Jong-un. But hey, Donald Trump, your own administration is much worse than those countries. Because you talk outwardly about freedom of speech, you talk about taking care of the veterans, you talk about all the big things, and then you don't follow it at all. At least those countries, they don't talk big. They make it absolutely clear that, yeah, this is how we treat our generals. But what about you and your little boy, Pete Hegseth? This is unacceptable.
Standing on solid ground or just continuing a vendetta against Mark Kelly?
Well, what occurs to me is that if
Hegseth is telling the truth that this information was given in a classified briefing. He is acknowledging that, at least in a classified context, the Pentagon has told members of Congress that these specific munitions have been depleted. Now, it is true that, Kelly was talking about these munitions on a level of specificity that was more than you heard Hegseth say when he said generally in that hearing that there had been a depletion, and most of those other comments were about a general depletion of precision munitions. It wasn't a laundry list of actual ones. But again, if that level of specificity came out of that classified briefing, what Hegseth is saying is, yeah, we did tell you that all of those munitions are depleted, but you were supposed to keep it a secret. So that's one sort of difficulty for the case the administration has been making. In terms of the legality, whether this was classified or not, and whether he was revealing, specific information that came from that briefing versus somewhere else. Like, I'm not a lawyer or an expert on the Code of Military Conduct, although I would say that in that context, as you mentioned, the effort to bring Senator Kelly up on charges has not been going well up to this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, he cannot just classify anything he wants, Pete Hegseth. He needs to tell the American people the truth. He never does that. He's always lying. His boss is lying all the time. I mean, this depletion of the ammunition is something that they should have, thought about before went to war with Iran. Why all of a sudden you don't have ammunition and now the Strait of Hormuz is closed? They have classified all the numbers, even the casualty numbers of American troops. Do you know, Dr. Percy from Queen's Institute, he said the first few days of this strike, they kept everything classified. 13 soldiers got killed, but how many got injured? They never say that. They say, okay, 100, 200. No, the number is way more. They are deflating the number every day. So guys, we don't care about this classified information that they come up with. No, these are not classified. These should be public knowledge. Subscribe for more videos in the next one.